Boyka, Undisputed Sioux. After we saw the end of the first part, with George's release after he broke Boyka's leg and beat him, we moved to the events of the second part. After several months, a person named Zhukov arrives, a strong and fierce wrestler. Zhukov participated in 35 matches and didn't lose a single one. This wrestler was the one Kaka relied on after Boyka. We see him entering a match against a wrestler, but he managed to win easily. Kaka was happy about it, won the bet, and left. Meanwhile, we see Kaka, who had some money left, but he didn't go back for it. He saw someone cleaning, so he told him, "Take this money." But this person replied and told him that he didn't need anything from him. From his voice, Kaka knew that this person was Boyka. After that, Boyka left, but Kaka followed him to his cell and told him, "I earned a lot of money because of you, and I will find you a better place." But Boyka refused and told him, "If you want to help me, allow me to participate in wrestling to achieve my goal." But Kaka refused and told him, "You are weak and you will lose, and I don't want to lose my money because of you." After that, he left, but Boyka didn't give up and went to the prison administration and asked for a reduction in his sentence, but the official refused and told him, "You need 15 years inside prison because of your many crimes. When these 15 years are over, you will be able to get out and be free." After that, Boyka goes and watches a match of the wrestler Zhukov, and when it ended, he returned to his cell. Boyka began to train his broken leg so he could return and wrestle with it. Meanwhile, the prison administration announced a wrestling tournament, and this tournament will be held in Georgia and will be between convicted prisoners around the world. The winner's prize is freedom and a clean criminal record. They tell them that whoever wants to participate in this tournament must prove that he is the strongest in prison. After that, Boyka goes and shaves his hair, and when he finishes, he goes and sprinkles water on the wrestler Zhukov and tells him, "I am the champion here and you are just a nobody, and your time will come to an end." But the guards grab him and prevent him from entering the ring, but Kaka intervenes and orders them to allow him to participate in the wrestling. After a long time, Boyka enters the match and returns and begins to fight with all his energy. Boyka begins to hit the wrestler Zhukov and managed to defeat him easily despite the fracture in his knee. After the match ended, Boyka was indeed able to get the qualification card for the wrestling. Meanwhile, the guards come and take him to the prison where the tournament will take place. It had the 7 strongest wrestlers in the world, and each of them had a major crime that caused his entry into prison. The first one is a wrestler from Korea named Tai Lam, and he entered prison because of a murder crime. The second one is named Andrei from Croatia, and his crime is that he killed 2. The third one is named Peter, and his crime is killing 3. The fourth one is Boyka, and he is from Russia, and he also entered because of a murder crime. The fifth one is Broderick, and he is a thief from Brazil. The sixth one is from America, and his name is Turbo, and his crime is a heinous murder. As for the last one, he is Raul, and his charge is smuggling, and he is sentenced to life imprisonment. After that, the responsible officer gives them instructions and tells them that they have 1 hour of training, and the rest of the work is outside the prison. Meanwhile, 7 people from the prison officials arrive, and each of them is responsible for a prisoner and is betting on him. Here we meet the tournament organizer, whose name is Rezo. Rezo gathers the officials, and they continue to discuss the instructions and the amounts that will be bet on. Meanwhile, the guards take the wrestling prisoners to their workplace, and this work was exhausting for their ability to wrestle. But we see Raul sitting under his own umbrella and not working at all. The wrestlers were annoyed because Raul was not working like them, but they kept silent and no one could speak. When the work ended, the guards took them to prison, and all the wrestlers started training except Raul because the officer came and gave him stimulants. After that, we see Raul entering a special training place, and we see him fighting professionally and with very high activity, and he was able to defeat the players he was training on because of these stimulants that the officer gave him. Meanwhile, the first match between the wrestlers begins, and it is between the Brazilian and a Greek wrestler, and we see the Brazilian wrestler who is flexible in his movements and accurate in his goals, and his strikes are accurate and strong, and he was able to hit the Greek wrestler and defeat him and win with complete ease. As for the second match, it is between the American wrestler Turbo and the Croatian wrestler, and the match between them was equal in strength, but the American wrestler was able to exploit the opponent's weaknesses and was able to defeat him and qualify for the next match. As for the next match, it is between Boyka and a French wrestler, and when Boyka entered and began to wrestle, Kaka was surprised because he did not expect Boyka to still have his skills despite the injury in his knee. We see Boyka performing all the movements and martial arts on the Frenchman, and in the end he was able to defeat him despite the fracture that George caused him, and he shocked all the viewers and the audience who were watching the match. The next match is between Raul and the Korean wrestler Tai Lam, and we see Raul mocking the Korean wrestler and continued to play with his mind, but in the end, he delivers a knockout punch and defeats him. When the first group ended, the guards take the wrestlers who lost and put them in prison cars, and the officer comes to them and tells them, "Good luck," but the guards took them out and shot them and killed them. Here we understand that according to the rules of this tournament, whoever loses is executed by firing squad. After that, the guards take the wrestlers who won to their workplace again so they can exhaust them and lose their ability to wrestle during their work. The American Turbo came to Boyka and told him, "I saw you when you were wrestling, and I knew that your knee was broken, and when there is a confrontation between us, I promise you I will break the other one." But Boyka couldn't bear his words and hit him, and a fight started between them. After that, the guards came and separated them and took them to a narrow and dirty solitary prison. After more than an hour, Turbo begins to talk to Boyka and blames him for what he did. But Boyka was not interested in him because of the standing he had on his leg. His knee continued to hurt him. After that, they started talking together about wrestling, prison, and martial arts until they became friends. The next day, Boyka went to Kaka and told him that the officer responsible for the wrestlers is making them do hard labor and leaving Raul alone without work, and these actions are reducing their fighting ability. We see Turbo telling his responsible the same thing Boyka told Kaka's responsible. Here, the two responsible went to the officer and asked him about the reason, and he replied to them that these are Raizo's orders and we cannot object to anything. So they decided to go to Raizo, and when they reached him, they asked him about the reason for exhausting those who are with them. And Raizo tells them that those of you who are betting on them will lose because Raul is the strongest and he will win, and he will storm the wrestling ring. So he tells them, try to change and bet on Raul. But Kaka tells him, if I bet on Raul, do you guarantee that Boyka will lose? So Raizo tells him, I guarantee you that Boyka will lose at Raul's hands. Here, Boyka and Turbo agree to consider work as a means to train with it, and indeed, during work, they started training and enhancing their fighting abilities. Here, Turbo asked Boyka about the reason for his entry into wrestling, so Boyka tells him, I participated in wrestling to prove to everyone that I am the strongest inside the prison. But after that, his leg starts to hurt him because of the fracture, and Turbo gives him a herb and tells him, squeeze it on your leg, and the pain will go away. Indeed, Boyka takes it to heal his leg. The next day, Kaka comes to bet on the wrestlers. So the match between Boyka and the Brazilian begins, and we see them at the beginning of the match, and they were tied because both were of the same strength, but Boyka's experience and training are different from the Brazilians. Indeed, Boyka was able to win and prove to them that he is the strongest inside the prison. Before they leave the ring, Boyka goes back and shakes hands with the Brazilian and congratulates him on his fighting ability. Meanwhile, the guards take the Brazilian to a place near the prison, and they also killed him and finished him off. Now we return to Raizo, who gathers all the officials and tells them that Boyka and his American friend are not easy to defeat, and he tells them that he did not expect them to be so strong and capable. So Raizo tells the officials that they must find a solution to make them lose and win Raul. Indeed, the plan begins to be implemented, so the responsible officer goes and takes the guards and heads towards Turbo and starts hitting him to make him lose the fighting power he has. After some time, this is what happened, and Turbo lost his ability to wrestle. Here Boyka comes to him and sees him in a pathetic state, so he asks him about what happened, but Turbo tells him, don't worry about me, and go continue your training. During the training, Raul comes to Boyka and tells him, I heard you are the strongest wrestler, but I will break both your legs. After that, Boyka replies and tells him, when the match begins, we will know who will walk on his feet. After that, Boyka goes and continues his training. Here we see Turbo training and preparing for the next match, but because of the beating he received, he lost the ability to wrestle. The next day, while they were going to work, Boyka tells Turbo that in his condition, he will not be able to defeat Raul and he must take advantage of this opportunity and escape as soon as possible. But Turbo refuses and decides to face Raul. But meanwhile, an old man talks to them and tells them that whoever loses will not return to prison but will be killed. After that, Turbo decided to escape, so Boyka tells him, I will break the chain and you escape. He agrees, and Boyka starts hitting the chain and trying to break it, but the guards noticed him and attacked them. And Boyka and Turbo started hitting them and trying to open the chain, and Boyka with a light move was able to take the key to the lock and defeat Turbo. But unfortunately, a guard comes to Boyka and hits him and makes him lose consciousness. After some time, Boyka wakes up and finds the officials standing next to him, but Boyka was smart and asked them to meet Kaka. But they told him that Kaka will not help you. So he replied, and told them that Kaka will help me because he is betting on me, and Kaka will never give up his money. After that, Kaka comes out from behind the officer and shocks Boyka and tells him, I put my bet on Raul. We see Boyka at the height of his anger and he threatens Kaka and tells him, I will make you lose all your money, and I will stand victorious over Raul. After some time, the decisive fight between Boyka and Raul begins, and this is the final match that will determine Boyka's fate or Raul's fate, and most people had placed their bets on Raul because they knew about Boyka's leg injury. When the fight began, Raul was the one who was overpowering Boyka, and he was controlling the ring, and he did not miss a single punch, and victory was his ally. Here we see Raul hitting Boyka with a strong blow that made Boyka dizzy and unable to see anyone. After that, Raul grabbed his leg and refractured his leg, but Boyka did not give up and continued to fight, and Kaka was surprised by Boyka's secret and strength, so he tells the officials that Boyka is not easily defeated. After that, Raul continues to hit Boyka and was focused on his leg. After more than one blow, Boyka fell to the ground with a knockout punch, and Raul celebrated the victory he achieved. But he sees Boyka not submitting to Raul and his gang, and he never gave up, and he took the mop that he used to clean the prison bathrooms and wrapped it around his leg, and when he stood up and saw Raul celebrating and believing that he had won, he told him, "The match is not over." So Raul is surprised when he sees that Boyka has returned to him, but he does not care about him and starts clapping sarcastically. And while he approached Boyka, Boyka hit him the first blow and continued to do so and started hitting him more and more, and the audience began to cheer for Boyka. And in the end, Boyka was able to break Raul's leg, and Raul started screaming from the intense pain and lost the match. And Boyka won and proved himself to be the strongest in wrestling inside the prison. Meanwhile, Kaka grabbed the officer and told him, "Because of you, I lost all my money, and you made me bet on Raul." After the match ended, the responsible officer went to Boyka and told him, "You did win, but you will stay in prison because you helped Turbo escape." The next day, they take Boyka to the place where they killed the wrestlers who lost, and Boyka closed his eyes because he knew they would kill him, but here Turbo comes out and kills them all in the blink of an eye. After that, they get in the car with Kaka and leave and get away from the prison. Here Kaka gives Boyka a bag, and when he opens it, he sees the bag full of money, and Kaka tells Boyka, "This is your share of the win," and tells him, "I placed my bet on you, and I was confident that you would win, and you are currently free and own a lot of money." After that, Boyka asks Kaka to stop the car and let him out, and indeed the car stops, and Boyka and Turbo get out, and Boyka bids farewell to his friend. Here, Boyka runs in the street and is happy because he is free and his criminal record has been cleared, and Boyka was able to prove to the world that he is the strongest inside the prison, and here is the end of the movie.